Very good morning, dear guys. Welcome to this class. Today we are going to begin the next one poem, A Tiger in the Zoo. A Tiger in the Zoo. This poem is written by Leslie Norris. Leslie Norris here contrasts a tiger in the zoo. Here you will miss what is the theme of the poem. If it is asked, there you could say that here in this poem the poet contrast a tiger in the zoo with a tiger in its natural habitat, okay. So this is the main theme of the poem, okay. This is the main theme of the poem. What is that? A contrast is there in this poem. Yes, and this contrast is between two tigers. Yes, it is between two tigers. Okay, two tigers. Which two tigers? Here actually the poet is talking about a tiger in the zoo. Okay, a tiger in the zoo, and another one is tiger in natural habitat. Natural habitat means here simply we can say natural habitat means here the poet is talking about jungle, forest, which is a natural habitat of a tiger. Yes, so here what happens to talk about the condition of a tiger in the zoo and tiger in the jungle. The poet moves from the tiger in the jungle and again moves from tiger in the zoo to the jungle, then again comes back to the tiger in the zoo. So this way here the poet actually talks about the condition, the pitiful condition of the tiger in the zoo. Yes, so here by reading or understanding this poem, you have to understand the condition, the pitiful condition of a tiger in the zoo. Here you have to understand this. Here by this you can say that the poet Leslie Norris is an animal lover, and there she talks about the freedom. Through this poem actually she talks about the freedom of an animal. The freedom of an animal means every animal should have freedom to walk, freedom to roam, freedom to snarl, whatever their natural activities. They should be free to do all those. They should not be kept in the zoo or in any prison just for the sake of entertainment. For men. No animal should be kept in the zoo or prison just for the sake of entertainment, just for the sake of enjoy. Yes, so here through this poem the poet Leslie Norris is talking about the freedom of an animal. Okay, every animal should be free. They should live in their natural habitat. That means jungle. So this is what the theme of the poem. What is the contrast? And the second thing is here the poet Leslie Norris is talking about the freedom. Yes, freedom of the freedom of an animal. Yes, and there she suggests or she objects keeping an animal in the jail or in prison, or that means zoo. Yes, here the zoo is like a prison for animal. Yes, the zoo is like a prison for an animal, and that's why here she said, yes, they should not be kept. They should not be kept in the zoo or any prison. They should be free. They should live in their natural habitat. So this is what the message here she wants to convey. She wants to convey to the reader. Yes, let's see what is given there in the poem. Understood the theme? First one is contrast. First one theme. Okay, just for your information you can write in your copy. Okay, themes of the poem. Okay, first one, contrast. Okay, contrast between a tiger in the zoo and a tiger in the jungle. Okay, that means natural habitat. Second one, here you can say she talks about the freedom of an animal. Okay, besides the third one thing, she talks about that no animal should be kept in the zoo. Okay, no animal should be kept in the zoo. So here these three themes are there in this poem. Okay, these are the three things here the poet Leslie Norris is talking about. Yes, so to write the themes of the poem. Now let's see what is there in the poem. Okay, one by one we will see line by line. Okay, line by line. So look at here. He starts in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage, on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. He should be lurking in a shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where pump deer pass. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws terrorizing the village. But he has locked in a concrete cell his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. So this is the poem. These are the lines. This poem has 5 stanzas. Okay, this poem has 5 stanzas. Okay, 5 stanzas. So let's see the first one stanza. Okay, first one stanza, what is there? He starts in his vivid stripes. Okay, so 5 stanzas are there, consist of 4 lines. Okay, 4 lines. 4 lines are there in each stanza. Okay, in every stanza there are 4 lines. In every stanza there are 4 lines, and overall there are 5 stanzas. Okay, 5 stanzas, and every stanza consists of 4 lines. Okay, now let's see what is there in the first one stanza. He starts in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage. Okay, the few steps of his cage, on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. So here in this first 4 lines, let's see, first of all, understand the meanings of the words. Okay, starts means walk. Okay, walks. Starts means walks with heavy steps. Walks with heavy steps is called starts. Okay, then second one is vivid stripes. Vivid Okay, vivid, clear. Stripes, the belts. Okay, stripes, belts that are there on the body of tiger की बॉडी पे जो बेल्ट होते हैं, these are called stripes. Okay, then the few steps of his cage on pads of velvet quiet. Pads means paw. Okay, here pads means actually his paw, पंजा. Okay, paws जो होते हैं उनको यहाँ pads कहा गया है. Okay, pads of velvet quiet. Velvet. Okay, velvet, as we know that the paws जो पंजे होते हैं उनके नीचे के जो पार्ट होते हैं ऑफ कैट फैमिली, द एनिमल्स और द ब्रीड ऑफ कैट फैमिली, जो कैट फैमिली के जो भी जानवर होते हैं जैसे बिल्ली, चीता, लेपर्ड वगैरह जो कोई भी है, टाइगर, लॉयन, इनके जो पैड्स होते हैं पंजे, दे आर वेरी वेरी मच सॉफ्ट, बहुत ज़्यादा सॉफ्ट होते हैं. एंड एज यू नो और यू कैन फाइंड द रीज़न टू, उसका पीछे रीज़न भी है कि ताकि वो शिकार करते समय उसकी आवाज़ ना हो पैरों की. सो फॉर दैट पर्पज ओनली वी कैन से उनके जो पंजे होते हैं, जो पैड्स होते हैं, जो पॉज होते हैं, दे आर वेरी 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 सॉफ्ट लाइक वेलवेट एंड दैट्स व्हाई हियर द वर्ड वेलवेट इज यूज्ड. ओके, देन इन हिज क्वाइट रेज. ओके, द नेक्स्ट वन, रेज मीन्स एंगर. ओके, so let's see what is given there in the first stanza. So here he says he. Okay, he here this word is referred to tiger in the zoo. Okay, tiger in the zoo. He this word, this pronoun is referred here to tiger. Okay, tiger in the zoo. In the first stanza, the pronoun he is referred to the tiger in the zoo. Okay, now let's see what is given there. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage. Okay, actually here he means the tiger in the zoo. The tiger in the zoo walks on in his vivid stripes. Vivid stripes means in his the soft body, the clear body with belts, with black belts, जो बेल्ट उसके ऊपर होते हैं ब्लैक वाले, with these belts the tiger is walking or walks few steps. Look at that, the word is mentioned there, few steps, the few steps. Okay, the few. Why the word is used there, the few? Why? Because cage is so small. Cage is so small compared to the jungle. The cage is so small. It has limited area, and that's why the poet has used there the word to describe it well. The few steps, as it is cage, and that's why the tiger in the cage walks only fewer steps in the cage. Okay, so here you can understand why this word is used. Why? Because the tiger in the jungle can walk many steps, yes, and number of steps it can walk. But if it is in the jungle, so here look at the condition, the helplessness of that tiger. He can't walk more, he could not walk more. It can walk only fewer steps. Why? Because it is in the jungle, it is in the cage, and that's why it can walk only fewer steps. So in his vivid stripes, in his vivid body, with the belts, with his clear body, with his soft body, it can walk, or it is walking in the cage just few steps. Okay, on pads, and on what? On pads means on his legs, on his paws. उसके जो पंजे है, उसके जो पॉ है, उसके जो पैर है, on his pads, he walks just fewer steps in the cage. Yes, pads of velvet, soft paws. On his soft paws, quiet, shant. Yes, shant, soft. Okay, so here the poet is actually talking about the helplessness of the tiger. Yes, he can't do anything, or he can do nothing. He can do nothing except walking some steps in the cage on his soft paws, in his quiet rage, means in his anger, quieten anger. Quiet rage, here we can say quiet, shant. Yes, quieten anger, गुस्से को दबाकर, गुस्से को शांत करके. Yes, quieten anger मतलब गुस्से को शांत करके the tiger is just walking a few steps in his cage on his soft paws. Yes, this is what here the poet is talking about, the condition of the tiger in the zoo, It can do nothing except walking on his soft paws, soft legs, just few steps in his case. Yes, again it is quietening his anger, he is suppressing his anger, he's just walking in the cage with heavy steps. Got it? So this is the meaning of the first one stanza. I hope you got there. Just simply you can say that there is a tiger in the zoo who is just walking fewer steps with his clear body, striped body in the cage on his soft paws, quietening his anger. Got it? This is what here the poet is talking about. Okay, the tiger in the zoo. I hope you got the meaning, okay, of the first stanza. Look at there now, the figures of speech or the rhyme scheme that are used here. So rhyme scheme, he starts in his vivid stripes the few steps of his case. So look at there, as we know for rhyme scheme. Okay, for rhyme scheme we talk about or we think about the last one word of each line. So what is last one word here? Stripes, cage, quiet and raise. Okay, so here as we have seen how to give the rhyme or how to fit the rhyme scheme with the help of alphabets. So here stripes, first of all we will give the alphabet A, then cage, it is dissimilar, so B, then quiet, it is again dissimilar to AB, so here C, and then cage, rage, so it is similar to B, so A B C B is the rhyme scheme. Okay, rhyme scheme of the first stanza. Okay, first stanza. Okay, and rhyming words you can write here: cage, rage. Okay, rhyming word. Okay, rhyming words, or again you can call it rhyming pairs. Okay, rhyming pairs or rhyming words. Rhyming pair or rhyming words. Cage, rage. Okay, so this is rhyming scheme. This is rhyming words. Rhyme scheme and rhyming words. Now let's see the figures of speech. Figures of speech used there in the first one stanza. Okay, first one stanza. What are the figures of speech? Okay, so look at there. He stalks in his vivid stripes. He stalks in his vivid stripes. Okay, so what are the figures of speech here? First one is personification. Personification is there. Personification how? Because here the human quality or the pronoun that are used for human being, इंसानों के लिए यूज करने जाने वाले pronoun, here he and his are attributed to tiger, and that's why here is personification. Yes, personification is there. Secondly, you can say here, yes, what is this? Vowel sound is repeated there. Assonance is again there. Assonance. Yes, assonance. Vowel sound repeated. Vowel sound repeated. Yes, assonance is also there. Assonance is also there in the first one line. He stalks in his vivid stripes. Yes, E sound. Yes, E sound is repeated there. So personification and assonance is there in the first one line. The few steps of his cage again. Yes, on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rage. On pads of velvet quiet. What is there? Metaphor. On pads of velvet quiet. What is there? In this metaphor is there. Metaphor. How could you say that there is metaphor? There is metaphor. Why? Because there is direct comparison between the legs of the tiger with, yes, there is direct comparison of the legs of the tiger to the velvet, a type of cloth. Yes, a type of cloth, a soft cloth. Yes, ये जो velvet होता है कपड़े का एक प्रकार है जो बहुत soft होता है. So here the pads, the paws of the tiger are compared to the pads of velvet. Yes, so here they are said like the pads of velvet. Yes, implicit comparison is there. That means direct comparison is there, and that's why there is metaphor. Okay, comparison between the paws of the tiger with pads of velvet. Okay, comparison is there. So metaphor is there. Then again in the last one, in his quiet rage. So look at there. What is there in his quiet rage? In his quiet rage there is oxymoron. Oxymoron is there. Okay, oxymoron, the figure of speech. Okay, what is oxymoron? Oxymoron, the figure of speech where two opposite words are put together side by side. Two opposite words when put together side by side, it is called oxymoron. Okay, so here quiet and rage. Quiet, शांत, rage, anger, गुस्सा, शांत और गुस्सा. Two opposite words are put here. Yes, side by side. So it is oxymoron. Yes, two opposite words. Yes, quiet and rage. Two opposite words are kept there together side by side, and that's why it is oxymoron there. Yes, got it? So this way the figures of speech are there in the first one stanza, and the rhyme scheme, rhyming pair we have seen, and the meaning of first stanza. Okay, in our next one video lecture we will continue the poem, okay, in the same manner. Okay guys, so see you soon. Bye bye. Keep watching the videos and enjoy the classes. Bye bye.